Hi everyone, my name is Anat Rosenzweig. My husband and I have been making videos talking from our experience how you can help kids during these troubling times. We have one child on the autistic spectrum and one child who suffers from anxiety and depression, so we have some experience in handling pressured situation, and these tips come from our personal experience in this regard. And the tip I want to tell you about today has to do with handling anxiety, and specifically anxiety attacks, and helping the body calm down. The main thing that happens during anxiety attacks is that the primal part of our brain takes over, and we cannot think rationally, and we cannot hear rational thoughts or process them. So the first step to handling anxiety attacks or extreme anxiety is to calm that primal part of the brain down and to trick our brain into going back to thinking with its rational part. One way to do that is by regulating our breath. When the primal brain is active, it's in a freeze, fight or flight mechanism, and our breathing is very erratic. And one way to trick our brain into calming down is to regulate our breathing. There's a lot of science behind this, but the main thing is that our inhalations have to be shorter than our exhalations. And we need to let the air stay in our lungs as long as we can, not to hold our breath, but to let it stay in our lungs as long as we can. So basically it would be breathing in for half the amount of time that you're breathing out. So you would breathe in, 2, 3, 4, breathe out to a count of 8. And if you purse your lips when you're breathing out, as if you're breathing through a straw, if you need to describe it to a child who's in a panic, how to do it, give them a straw and tell them to breathe out through the straw. That causes the air to flow out even slower. And after 3-4 breaths like this, it already starts to regulate the breathing. 2 or 3 minutes of this with you across from the child doing it with them usually brings them to the position that they can start talking and not just completely panicking. One more thing, if you want to look up the science about this, it's called the physiological sigh. So we can also try to provide links to stuff about this. But when you're done inhaling, you kind of try to top off the lungs. So it would look something like, and that is a behavior that our body does when, for example, you're sobbing, when the body knows it's time to calm down. And that's another way to trick our brain into calming down. I hope this is helpful to you. Would love to hear your thoughts on this if there's other things that can help. And may we all hear quieter times and not need these tips.